Wala yawa.
Presidential salute! Present! Arms! Sorry! Arms!
Get him out of the sun.
I would like to shake the president's hand if it's possible. Good job with
Your Excellency, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, Minister of Public Works, Honorable Bishop Juan Egil, Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. Security Advisor, Captain Jerry Govaya. Director of Civil Aviation Authority, Lieutenant Colonel Fields. Chief of Defense Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Public Works. Director of NISA, Colonel Sheldon Howell. Colonel Administration and Quartering. Police Commander. Other senior officers. Members of the Eteringbang community. And last but not least, the soldiers who worked on this project. Good morning. Welcome to Eteringbang to attend this small but significant function. I am Lieutenant Colonel Kennard Liverpool, and I am the officer responsible for plans and supervision for this project. I must express how proud I am and satisfied today to be standing here to move this opening remarks for the dedication of the Eteringbang airstrip, or rather, the Brigadier Beaton Aerodrome, in honor of my former commander, my mentor, and a great leader. And isn't it better fitting that myself and another engineer, Lieutenant Colonel Morley, former apprentices of this engineer, to be able to complete a project which he embarked on over 2 years ago, but was unable to complete due to unfortunate circumstances. At least his hard work in attempt in making me a better engineer did not go in vain. I know he must be smiling up above presently, saying, Morley, I think I will rest comfortable now. Your boy Liverpool turned the corner. The legs paid off. As we would relate in military terms, the BGBA is considered a significant piece of vital ground and would have tactical advantage to us as the Guyana Defense Force and economic advantage to the civilians of Eteringbang. The community can now breathe better because they don't have to face the syndicatos who would have robbed them and abused them while they tried to transport cargo and, among other things, to and from this location. This brand new all-weather 24-hour access aerodrome will now revitalize the lives of members of this community. Not only this community members will benefit, the Engineer Battalion and the Guyana Defense Force as a whole will benefit from more experienced and better trained engineers masons, machine operators, and mechanics. From on-the-job training throughout the duration of this project. We, and when I say we, myself and Lieutenant Colonel Morley were able to train and convert ordinary non-skilled officers, senior non-commissioned officers, warrant officers, and soldiers into machine operators, masons, site supervisors, and project officers. As such, we would like to thank all of the non-skilled units who supported us on this project. Training Corps, Special Forces, the infantry battalions, and yes, Finance Department. All of these units would have sent laborers to this project, and we would have transformed them and send them back as semi-skilled ranks. Yes, I see you're waving, not forgetting Air Corps. Air Corps supported us throughout. 5 Service Support Battalion, the Colonel AQ, Colonel AQ Administration and Quartering supported us throughout. Not to be long, once again, I'd like to thank all who supported us in allowing us to be able to complete this project. I thank you. I'd now like to invite the project engineer, Government of Guyana, Lieutenant Colonel Morley, to deliver his address.
Thank you, Liverpool. Standing on existing protocols already established, I am Lieutenant Colonel Brigadier Morley, the project engineer, Government of Guyana, with responsibility for the rehabilitation of the Eteringbang airstrip. Today I shall provide a brief overview of this project. And as highlighted by Lieutenant Colonel Liverpool, we are gathered here to honor and dedicate this newly constructed airstrip in the name of a hard-working and dedicated officer, Brigadier Gary Beaton, now deceased. This airstrip was a dry weather surface in a tropical forest where it rains almost every day. It served as a main transportation link for trade between Guyana and Venezuela. It was considered the economic hub for Eteringbang and the neighboring communities. Many of the mining activities in proximity were staged and supported logistically from this dry weather airstrip. Outside of its obvious strategic value, as highlighted by Colonel Liverpool, it was almost inevitable, given Guyana's robust and aggressive developmental thrust, that such an airstrip be upgraded to an all-weather aerodrome with the necessary facilities. The existing airstrip was a mostly grassed and lateritic surface, with the original length of the airstrip at 2,000 feet and the width at 35 feet. A lateritic surface that was susceptible to moisture and in some sections failed and had to be topped up regularly. Sections that were also inconsistent with the slope and the grade, not like what you see here now. Talking to some senior pilots, it was described as an operationally challenging airstrip, or almost a disaster waiting to happen that needed superior airmanship, especially during the rainy season. However, with such an undertaking as for this project, His Excellency prudently suggested that a collaboration between the Guyana Defense Force and the Ministry of Public Works would be the most appropriate line of attack to confront such a project. And none other than Brigadier Gary Beaton and his team of brave souls were identified and graciously accepted this mission. The project commenced in 12th of July 2022. The scope of works were to level and compact the existing airstrip utilizing the native materials, establish a suitable base for interrogating the existing surface, or provide a cement stabilized base, which we know as a blinding surface, and cast slabs 3.6 meter by 3.8 meter, a total of 700 concrete slabs. Also allow for a parking area for aircraft, an adequate side slope and longitudinal slopes to facilitate efficient drainage, in addition to lighting and appropriate edge marking and striping. The project was completed in 28 months amid a myriad of logistics and extraordinary challenges, almost at times force majeure situations. The project was resourced with personnel from the Government of Guyana, Project Engineer Department within the Guyana Defense Force, reservists from the Guyana National Reserve, the 4 Engineer Battalion, and almost all the other units of the force, some highlighted by Colonel Liverpool earlier. The manpower was organized in a typical project management matrix, with an officer, at most times a captain or a major, as a project officer, who was synonymous to that of a project manager or a project engineer. That project engineer was ably supported by a warrant officer who was responsible for the general administration and discipline, and basically ensuring that the troops woke up at 4 a.m. to commence concrete works to avoid the blistering heat and reduce the impact of said heat on the eventual concrete. An average of 20 troops were consistently on the project, amassing an approximate total of 70,000 man-hours. Over 240 personnel served on this project at different times. That's an aggregate total. As it regards materials, construction material availability was a definite challenge at Eteringbang, since by the time the airstrip has started works, landing at the airstrip by using aircraft would have been difficult, so you had to use helicopter. So most of our supplies had to be coming from local suppliers. And local suppliers were indeed engaged to supply sand, cement, crushed stone, while other materials like backer rods, sealants, rebars, etc. were sourced from Georgetown, but that would come through the Guyana River. Cement initially was sourced from across the river. However, the sand and crushed stone were sourced from the riverbed, then washed and sieved. The sand was packed in 100-pound bags and transported in boats at 60 to 100 bags per trip due to the low water level. But this was a catch-22 situation, since the sand and the stone would be available when the river level was low to expose the sandbanks and dredge out tailings. But conversely, it hindered transport, since the boats would often run aground. Obviously, when the river level was high, it was difficult to get sand and crushed stone. The suppliers would have to travel farther, but they persevered. Cement availability from the neighboring town of San Martin was hamstrung by the Venezuelan authorities, which resulted in cement being sourced from Georgetown. Only 60 to 100 sacks of cement per trip could be transported in boats due to the treacherous Guyana River. More specifically, Devil Hole, where cement had to be unpacked and transported into another boat to avoid losing the shipment. At times, 100 sacks of cement would take 8 to 9 days to arrive. This resulted in the cement price skyrocketing. To put into perspective, a total of 28,000 sacks of cement were used on this project. 65% or 18,000 sacks of which were supplied in boats, 6 to 100 sacks per trip, many arriving at night, roughly 300 boat trips. 38,000 bags of crushed stone, 500 boat trips. Approximately 52,000 bags of sand, 650 boat trips. These were the material logistic challenges experienced throughout. This seesaw situation of water level monitoring and materials management resulted in significant schedule adjustment. But we persevered. The equipment for the project. The equipment were of course key to the completion of this airstrip. A total of 9 concrete mixers. Only 9 survive and is surviving now. 3 brand new skid steer loaders, only 2 operational. 2 tractors with trailer, a 2-ton roller, and a mini excavator. All of these equipment were transported through the Guyana River. 1 skid steer actually slipped off and went overboard into the Guyana River, but it was salvaged. The mobilization of these equipment was quite a task and required exceptionally skilled boat operators and adventurous contractors. These equipment were absolutely key to the completion of the project. A total of 14,000 mix cycles so the mixers could complete their works. The mixers struggle, and that's why we only have 4 remaining of the 9. Each ransom would work 4 hours per day. And what we found, we've tried different types of mixers. Not to advertise, but the Menengotti mixer proved to be one of the mixers that actually survived and continue to work today. While equipment and human resources were key, more importantly was project management and project execution. This project was executed with a very small project management unit based at Eteringbang, Ghana, led initially by Brigadier Beaton, who must have wondered in his quiet moment every now and again, what am I doing here? In what should be my golden years? Later myself, and ably assisted by Lieutenant Colonel Liverpool, led the team and built on what was established by Brigadier Beaton. The communication was greatly enhanced by the use of Starlink setup, where almost real-time communication and monitoring was possible. The project officer provided myself and Lieutenant Colonel Liverpool with written daily reports capturing all the technical, logistics, and human resources progress and non-progress. Troops benefited from on-the-job, hands-on training. The supervisors were guided, and the various simplified methods to monitor concrete mix design and its adherence and quality control were demonstrated. Project management at the site level and at the PMU were greatly improved, which allowed for future planning and anticipation of challenges and strategies to overcome safety. The most important addition was, and I want to stress this, the most important addition was a daily 7:30 online huddle meeting with all key personnel, proving to be extremely advantageous and allowed PMU headquarters to make timely decisions to ensure the project activities were never hamstrung. This can be considered as one of the most important takeaways for this project. The PMU was always within 24 hours of any change and could have adapted quickly. In summary, we as a project management and engineering unit would have learned tremendously from the challenges and successes of this project. Something the late Brigadier Beaton would have been proud of. With the successful completion, the community of Eteringbang can breathe new life. Immediately, the Van Longs have reopened their hotel. Eric Sam can get his specially made bread on time. With a new concrete airstrip that now allows for greater braking efficiency, enabling the airstrip to stop in a aircraft to stop in a timely manner, with an area that can be accessed by day and night, a wider airstrip, now 50 feet, with clearway that was not available before, will definitely improve aerodrome safety. Eteringbang can now return to its economic hub that it once was. It would be remiss of me not to mention the 240 plus troops who served at different times in the construction. And we want to single out for special mention Captain Ian Cameron, a true and die-hard leader who inspired and at times delivered the much unattainable 12 concrete slabs in a day. That was one of our goals. Lieutenant Marvin Richmond, a reserve officer, an agronomist by training, who applied his management and motivational skills to see tired soldiers continue to work. Warrant Officer Hesley Craig, an aviation trained warrant that rolled up his sleeves and made his tenure a memorable one. Most importantly, Corporal Suklab, who day in, day out performed way above his competence and rank level. And we will recommend that he be promoted. And I want to again highlight Corporal Suklab. If we could go back as a human resource on this project, Corporal Suklab would have spent the most time on this project, over a year plus. Also, the soldiers serving here from the 1 Infantry Battalion, who at times unwillingly turned up to provide labor support. Thank you. To the local contractors, suppliers, Mr. Eric Sam, Ms. Angelica Sam, Mr. Lorenzo, Mr. Steve Edwards. Thank you. Without your support, we would not have been able to make it possible. To Gen Equip and Farm Supplies, the mechanics there who would often take video calls to assist in remedying various equipment breakdown and would respond and spend days at this location ensuring that our equipment were always functional. Thank you. To Air Corps, 4 Engineer Battalion, 5 SSB, among the units that assisted. Thank you very much. Ministry of Public Works, yes, Minister Akim, Engineer. Thank you very much for the support throughout. We at Project Engineer Government of Guyana are pleased to have been able to complete this aerodrome that will now be named the Brigadier Beaton Aerodrome. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is the Chief of Defense Staff, who would be delivering his remarks. However, before I invite you, Chief of Defense Staff, we have a small confession to make. It came out of desperation and challenge beyond us. There was a point where we had to take a skid steer on credit and put it in a boat from Perica to travel along the river to get air to continue progress. No insurance. Sorry, we didn't inform you of that because we dealt with it at our level. Risk or reward, the risk at that skid steer went down, we would have had to pay for it, and among other things. However, the reward is that after 1 week, after offloading at Devil Hole, taking about 2 days to reloading another small boat and getting it here, this project was able to push on. The commander had enough equipment, critical equipment, to get this project completed. Chief of Staff, thank you for your support. Thank you for your support throughout this project. I'll now invite you to deliver your
You know, there's a term in the military. You get in, get the mission done, and you get out. The most important statement in that confession by Lieutenant Colonel Liverpool is that we would have to pay for it if anything happened. And we, he would know who's we. But this is the risk that we take. At my level, the officer carry out the mission, get the job done at all costs, with minimum collateral damage. His Excellency and Commander-in-Chief, President, Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, Minister of Public Works, the Honorable Juan Edgel, Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Frank Anthony, Member of Parliament and wife of our late brother, Brigadier Gary Beaton, Dr. Jennifer Westford, National Security Advisor, Director, Civil Aviation Authority, Director NISA, Colonel Administration and Quartering, Commanding Officer for the 1 Infantry Battalion, Commanding Officer for 4 Engineer Battalion, Commanding Officer Air Corps and our pilot this morning, Colonel Ramjad, PS, Public Works, Dr. Suraj Paul, the resident doctor here at Eteringbang, Senior Superintendent Moore, Divisional Commander for Region 7, Lieutenant Colonel Weeks, other senior officers, residents of Eteringbang community, and I recognize also the headmistress to the primary school. And I would like to reiterate our own ranks who worked on this project, on this airstrip, this runway, across the force, but importantly at the 4 Engineers Battalion. A lot of details went in the previous presentation. The Commander-in-Chief, I want to say that this is not beyond the GDF to be involved in such national projects. The Guyana Defense Force has 3 fundamental roles: to defend territorial integrity, to support the civil authorities in the maintenance of law and order, and to contribute to the economic development of Guyana. This project, working with the Ministry of Public Works, have positioned the Guyana Defense Force to service that role, an important role. Talking to the residents here this morning indicate that there will be an economic explosion of activities coming with the completion of this airstrip, the renovation of it. Also, the residents, I'm happy that Colonel Morley, the head of the Government of Guyana projects, and Lieutenant Colonel Liverpool would have gone into the challenges that we had. And it's important for those challenges to be mentioned here this morning, because your patience and your queries over the past 2 years was met with, we are doing our best. Now you have an understanding about the challenges that we have. We wanted this project to be completed in a year. That was the directive given to me, or my predecessor, in 1 year. But with all those challenges that were outlined, you can understand why we took this long. Commander-in-Chief, it is with your vision that the Guyana Defense Force was able to contribute to national development. And we are happy and proud. It's a proud moment for all of us in the Guyana Defense Force, across the units, the Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Housing also, talking about the construction of a well as part of this project. Ministry of Health, because we had to use some of the resources when our soldiers got ill. So this was a full demonstration of your vision on show, having all the elements of government and state apparatus contributing and complementing to a successful project. Brigadier Gary Beaton, Commander-in-Chief, you know Brigadier Gary Beaton. All of us here, even the residents, would know Brigadier Beaton. He's not a quiet individual. He's one that will go around and talk and interact. While I'm saddened by his passing, I'm happy that we're making this declaration, renaming this aerodrome after him. He was my senior throughout my military career, but I'm honored to call him not only my senior, but a brother. Brigadier Beaton and I spent hours talking about this project. He spoke on the last day when he left for this location. He understood things that I don't need to say. Getting the mission completed. And that's what he did. His legacy will live on at one of our most important border locations. The Guyana Defense Force will endeavor to make the story of Brigadier Beaton not only in the construction of this airstrip, but his legacy throughout his career. An exemplar officer. I thank him for his service, and I thank the officers who served under him to complete this project and ranks for their service. The nation is proud of you. The Guyana Defense Force is proud of you, and I am proud of you. This has been a moment, and the moment is here, and it's my opportunity now to welcome our Commander-in-Chief. Honorable Juan Edgel, to come to the podium. Thank you.
It's a long way back to Georgetown, you know.
His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, but also at Public Works, our team leader in infrastructure development across this country. My cabinet colleague, Dr. Frank Anthony, Minister of Health, MP Dr. Jennifer Westford, and I guess our guest of honor, and wife of, or widow of the late Gary Beaton, Brigadier Gary Beaton, Chief of Defense Staff, officers and ranks of the various units of the Guyana Defense Force, National Security Advisor, Director General of the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, my permanent secretary, Mr. Vladimir Prasad, and Mr. President, a little young man who's the engineer that from Ministry of Public Works that oversees all of our aerodrome programs, Engineer Akim St. Louis. Where is he? He's right here. Ladies and gentlemen, my respected elders and residents of Eteringbang. 4 years ago, I came here and we met under the tree. Brigadier Gary Beaton was the man leading the team. But let me tell you how it happened. I was asked by President Ali to be the Minister of Public Works in his cabinet. And it was just a matter of weeks after I assumed office that he invited me to State House at the Bardi Benab, where he had the entire engineering corps and all the engineers in the Guyana Defense Force present. And he went through one by one, and they introduced themselves. What is their area of skill and expertise? And then he made a commission. You will get involved in national development. You will work with the Ministry of Public Works. Brigadier Gary Beaton was at the head of that. So while we're talking about an airstrip here today in his honor, before this airstrip was built, he and his men went to Blackbush Polder and built bridges for the people there. Went to various places in Region 3 and built bridges there, fixed community grounds. And he and his ranks were all across this country under the leadership of the President and Commander-in-Chief. Soldiers in communities working with civilians to improve the lives of people, a vision of His Excellency President Ali. So I think we need to say thanks to our President and Commander-in-Chief. Sir, we are proud of your vision and the leadership in which you provide here. Today, I'm deeply honored because this is a very special and important moment to join all of you as we dedicate this aerodrome in honor of Brigadier Gary Beaton, MSM. The renaming of the Eteringbang airstrip to the Brigadier Gary Beaton Aerodrome is more than a symbolic gesture. It is tribute to a man who lived and served with an unyielding commitment to excellence. It is also a celebration of a collaborative effort to transform this vital piece of infrastructure into a modern, resilient one that will serve generations to come. Brigadier Beaton's life exemplified his mantra, always aim for excellence. As a distinguished officer, an engineer, and a leader, he believed in being hands-on with his work. Without appointment, Brigadier Gary Beaton would show up at my office and says, we need to talk. And he was a man who was extremely truthful. He came into Eteringbang and he came back to me and said, we got a problem. The slabs failed. He didn't hide it. There was a problem with moisture in the sand. He says, we got to do it over. We got to get it right. He sat with us in the ministry and we went through all the various scenarios. He was a great leader. When this project was started, Mr. President, it was a woman who was at the helm of our aerodrome program, Engineer Dion Amsterdam, who passed. And we remember her passing, a fantastic engineer and a woman who died in service while she was at work, collapsed at the office and died. She played a critical role in this project, but she passed away before its completion. Both Brigadier Gary Beaton and Engineer Dion Amsterdam give their best to this endeavor, and today their visions stand realized. This aerodrome is not only a tribute to their sacrifice, but a living testament to their dedication to national development. The Eteringbang airstrip has long been a cornerstone for Region 7, serving a community of over 850 residents and supporting mining operations. It was a hub of activity, 15 to 25 flights daily during its peak. However, as time passed, the original laterite surface deteriorated, large ruts and depressions formed, making the airstrip unsafe and unreliable, especially during the rainy season. Temporary measures were taken in 2020 to patch the surface, but it became clear that a long-term solution was essential. In July 2022, under the leadership of Brigadier Beaton and the Ministry of Public Works, rehabilitation works began. What started as a limited intervention evolved into a complete transformation, aligning with the ministry's vision to upgrade airstrips across Guyana to withstand extreme weather conditions. The newly rehabilitated Brigadier Gary Beaton Aerodrome now stands as a model of resilience and progress. The airstrip features 610 meters of reinforced concrete runway with a design life of over 20 years, sir. It is constructed to withstand the harshest weather conditions, ensuring year-round reliability. The runway can accommodate all aircraft in the local aviation market, except the Beechcraft, with the weight restrictions for larger planes. These upgrades represent not just a technical achievement, but also a commitment to the people of Eteringbang and the economic vitality of Region 7. This was a collaborative effort. The Ministry of Public Works providing leadership, design, and technical expertise. The Guyana Defense Force, including the 4th Engineer Battalion, 1st Infantry Battalion, and supporting units who executed the works with precision and determination. Private contractors and the Eteringbang community who sourced local materials and provided logistical support. And this was in clear wherever we go in a community and work, we must create employment opportunities to the people in those communities. And this was done here as well. Together, these groups overcame significant challenges. The remoteness of Eteringbang required innovative solutions, such as using portable equipment transported by skyvans. When they described to me that they have to loose up all the equipment purchase and fly them in sections, it was unbelievable. The same thing was done for Kite Shore as well. There were material shortages, exacerbated by the rainy season and the regional dynamics. These were all mitigated through collaboration with local suppliers and much strategic planning. Gary Beaton was a master at making difficult things easy by providing ways and means of how it could be done and ensuring that there was no contention. The retrieval of sand and gravel from the Guyana River depended on the expertise of local residents, showcasing the value of community involvement. We would like to acknowledge that despite these challenges, the project, initially slated for completion in May 2023, was extended and now stands completed at a cost of $688.8 million Guyana dollars. This aerodrome is testament to the perseverance, resourcefulness, and the strength of collaboration. And I might want to say, one of the largest investments that have been made in Region 7 of recent times, $688.8 million. It's a lasting tribute. As we dedicate this aerodrome to Brigadier Gary Beaton, we remember that it's more than an infrastructure upgrade. It is a reflection of his values, his dedication, and his vision. His mantra, always aim for excellence, will resonate with all who use this facility. Let this aerodrome also remind us of the resilience and unity of the Eteringbang community and all who contributed to its success. To Brigadier Beaton and Dion and all who worked on this project, we say thank you for your efforts You have left an indelible mark on Guyana's history and future. May Gary Beaton, Brigadier Gary Beaton Aerodrome serve as a beacon of progress, a tribute to excellence, and an enduring symbol of what we can achieve together. Thank you, and may God bless all of you.
Thank you, Minister of Public Works. Thank you also for your patience and support that you gave us throughout this project. I'd now like to invite Dr. Jennifer Westford to deliver some remarks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Colonel. His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, my colleagues, Minister Juan Edgel and Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, Chief of Defense Staff, other senior officers of the Guyana Defense Force, my comrade, Mr. Jerry Gavaya, and once my personal pilot flying these very areas. He reminded me today of the dangerous treks we made into this area. And as Lieutenant Colonel Murley mentioned earlier, it was a disaster waiting to happen. Fortunately, we had no disasters. We averted many disasters by getting patients out of this area, 1 and 2 a.m. in the mornings. Other junior members of the Guyana Defense Force, senior officers of the Guyana Police Force, and also junior members of the Guyana Police Force, the resident doctor, welcome to Region 7. And remember what I said to you earlier. I expect lots and lots of good things from you. Other senior members of the community, residents of the community of Eteringbang, and I would like to say fellow residents of Region 7, because I consider Region 7 as my hometown. I shouldn't be saying that. I was just threatened about something. Mr. President, I'm joking. Please, don't send me back here. This is an area that I spent 8 years willingly, and I was very happy being in this area, even though it was treacherous, very treacherous. And those of you, the senior persons who would have known this area, would know exactly what I'm speaking about. Today, we are here honoring one of our fallen heroes, a man of integrity, and we have heard so many good things today and over the past year about Brigadier Gary Beaton, someone with what we can say stickability. He stood for excellence, and nothing was ever good enough until it was done 150%. He always saw something else that could have been done. And I can say to you that I probably I can be now an assistant engineer on airstrips, because I had to be listening to all of the issues, and sometimes I would say, can you please go and speak with Minister Edgel? At times I listened, but I didn't understand anything. And he would say, you understood what I just said? Sorry, no. Okay, come, bring a piece of paper. And I would see some drawings that I don't know whether it was a lobster or what, just things going wrong and wrong. I say, oh, yes, I understand now. But I understood nothing. And that was the man. He was committed to what he was doing. He would be in his office, and at times the chief here would have been one of those persons in the office at weird hours in the night. And he said, oh, you know, I'm here with Omar. We're going through this thing. We have to get this thing sorted out. Sometimes I will make a remark and say, okay, working, how many bottles or glasses you have in front of you? He would say, no, we're not doing that. We're working. But he spent hours upon hours of his waking time thinking and working out all of the challenges with this particular project. This project really was on his mind, and he wanted to, Comrade President, the aim that he had was that he was going to deliver to you before the 31st of December last year, this project. He said you told him one thing, but he's going to give it to you before that. And that was his aim. And that was the type of person he was. He was always concerned about the residents. He would come and say, you know, I saw some little children. I'll tell you, buy some things, let me take for them. And that's the type of man he was. Dedicated to the cause. And today, even though we are here honoring him, and most of us, or all of us, would have preferred that he would have been here today, receiving these accolades and speaking about this project. But, you know, my belief is that there is a season for everything, and we all have a season, and what we need to do, we need to take this and make whatever time it is we have here. Let us use this and make sure that we leave something, a positive legacy. Let us think about this. Let us leave our footprints in the sand too. Let us do something that will benefit others who are here and who will be coming after us. And I must say a great, great big thank you. I don't want to rehash most of the things that were said before, because all of us here, we knew Brigadier Beaton, and we know what he was capable of doing. We knew of his dedication, especially to the Guyana Defense Force, and whatever task he was charged with or to be done. I want to say a great big thank you, President Ali, for reposing, having that confidence that Brigadier Beaton was the person. And you more or less said that to me, you will be doing it. I want you to do this. And he never hesitated. He said to you, I'm going to think about it. There was no thinking. And I said, well, so what are you going to do? Tomorrow. And that was it. I never heard anything until I saw him coming back and, oh yes, I have to go and see the president to do this. I said, okay, go full ahead. I want to say a great big thank you to you, because without your confidence in him, we may not have been here today for this ceremony. A great big thank you to Commander-in-Chief, Chief of Defense Staff, other senior officers, and junior officers who were there, because he could not have done it alone. He could never have done it alone. He had the support, and as Lieutenant Colonel Morley said, some willingly and some who were ordered to give that support. But there was support. He could not have done it by himself. Thank you. Thank all of you for being there. Thanks to the Guyana Police Force also for your support. The residents, I know you were a great help. I heard so many stories about getting the sand and the stone out of the river and all of the nice stories. And I always said, oh, those people are nice people. They're going to assist you. Just be nice and be humble with them and they will do things. And it was done. He lived for nothing. He was proud that this was going to be done. And Lieutenant Colonel Morley, I want to say a great big thank you. And I know he would have or is laughing to say, look, I catch Morley now. And you know why I'm saying that. I know he would be proud that you were one of the persons to ensure that this project came to fruition. I know that. So keep the good work up. There are many, many other projects that will have to be done. And on behalf, I know the regional chairman of Region 7 could not have been here today, but on behalf of the regional chairman and all of the people from Region 7, I want to say a great, great big thank you for this year's trip, Your Excellency. You would not understand and know the importance of what this, as I was approaching here, it actually brought tears to my eyes to see the airstrip. And I said to myself, and I mentioned to my ex-personal pilot, really, is this where we used to be landing? Really? I couldn't believe it, and I had to walk on it. You know, you see some people, when they come to Guyana, they kiss the air. When they reach the Timeri, they would kiss. I was tempted to say, wow. Wow. Is this possible? Vision, sir. And that's what you have, vision. Because without vision, we will never see developments like this. We can have how much money we want to have, but you have to have vision. Because no matter if you have money and you don't know what to do with it, it's better not to have it. So thank you very much. And residents of Eteringbang, how many of you are from Korotoko? No hands up? All right, I see a few. One of my very, very special areas, it's the hardest area of the river, where the Guyana Defense Force members will know where that is of the river. Nobody wants to go there, but it's a very nice area, a little hard, very hard, sorry, but a little hard for me. But you are going to be seeing me some more, sir. I see you smiling, not tomorrow, because I know how you operate. But I want to say to you that this is just the beginning of things to come. The president comes to speak with you just now. And once again, thank everyone, every single person who would have assisted, who would have contributed to this masterpiece that we're seeing here. Because this is a beacon for us all, and let us all aim that within our lives, however long we have on this earth, however long with our season, whenever our season would end, that we leave legacies, that we leave footprints in the sand, that those coming behind us can follow. Thank you very much, and I'm very, very proud today being here, and I can't say how proud I am and how thankful I am for all the support that you would have given to Brigadier Beaton while he was here with us. Thank you very much.
Dr. Westford, we would like to thank you for loaning the late Brigadier Beaton to us, all those late nights, weekend. Thank you. And we are proud that the closest thing to him, the closest person to him, we made satisfied today. Thank you. All of this today would have not been possible without just a thought. A thought from a brilliant visionary leader. Some 4 years ago, he sat us down and said, I want community development projects to be done by the Guyana Defense Force, all of the engineers. And I'd like to report, sir, to date, we have completed some 30 of those projects, starting from as small as the rehabilitation of a washroom. Then we started doing bridges, and then the airstrips we embarked on, and now we've completed this massive project. Thank you, sir. I'd like to invite you to deliver the feature address.
Thank you very much. Please have your seats. Brigadier Omar Khan, residents, our distinguished men and women in uniform, please put your hands together for these extraordinary people. Liverpool, Morley, and the entire team that worked here, I want you to be assured that I'm enormously proud of the work that you would have accomplished through a very challenging time. And I want to applaud you, all of you, for this tremendous effort and bring successfully to an end this airstrip project. Put your hands together for this team. Moreover, I believe that too often we do not recognize properly the service that is given. And I would say that the appropriate border medal should be given to all those who serve on this project in this important border location. Many people may forget this project and honoring of Brigadier Gary Beaton is not as simple as we want to, or we would like to think it is. First of all, it was at a time when our country was facing its greatest real threat in the history of our country. Imminent danger, imminent threat. And I want to also, before I continue, recognize our former Chief of Staff, Godfrey Bess, for his role also in these projects. And of course, the inspiring continuing work of the Chief of Defense Staff and his team now. But I want us to remember that it was a particularly difficult period in our country's history when Air Corps was put to its maximum test. The leadership of the Guyana Defense Force was put to its maximum test. Our security architecture was put to its maximum test. And our country resilience was tested. Moments or days before that unfortunate day, we visited this area, among many other areas. We came back and we had a discussion right out here on this airstrip because all the strategic planners were acutely aware that this was the most important base. This was the most important location, and accessibility was key. And at that time, we had tremendous rainfall also. for a long, prolonged period. And accessibility to this airstrip was almost nil. Ramchag, you would know that even troop changeover had tremendous delays because we could not have accessed this. So not only for the residents, imagine, multiply that many times over, and you would understand the impact on the residents having supplies. And I'll give you some real examples. So after that meeting, I recall getting on the phone with Brigadier Beaton and Omar, the Chief of Defense Staff, convening an immediate meeting when we arrived in Georgetown to work out a plan of action for this project. And Brigadier Beaton was not only motivated, he wanted to come back the same day. And it was a mission linked to national security interests that they were returning on. It was a security-related mission, of which this was an important component, that they paid the ultimate sacrifice for their country, and we salute them and salute them every single day of our life. As Morley said, there was no reason for Brigadier Beaton to resume work. But I requested of him to come back and to head project development, because the aim, and which continues today, was to place the Guyana Defense Force in the center of national development and to rebrand the image that some communities might have had of the Guyana Defense Force. And I must say that you have not disappointed me at all, whether it's in Grenada, whether it's on Men on Mission, whether it's in Karasabai, whether it's here. You have answered the call and stood tall. The other important issue that we must understand is the growth of Guyana and the growth of the aviation sector. Whether it's Roraima, JAGS, Air Services. Eggy, you know that your workload is increasing at a rapid pace because of the growth of the sector. And to match this growth outside of our security interests, our community interests, we have to invest in a facility that would facilitate the growth and also open up opportunity. Needless to say, when we make these investments, we reduce the risk of failure for the industry, we reduce the risk of damages, and with reduced risk come reduced prices. So we're hoping that with these investments, the sector itself would pass on some benefit to the community in terms of the pricing, because they would tell you the risk to come in here, breaking a landing gear, had a cost. Now that we've removed substantially that risk, we hope that we'll remove substantially the profit margin in the interest of the community. That's an appeal to the sector. Jerry is no longer in the private sector in that aspect. Now, I want to say, before I get back to this community itself, as I'm on the topic of the engineering corps, currently they're completing the Kaichor airstrip. About 500 feet remain to be completed, and we are hoping to have that delivered by March next year. That will not only boost tourism, but that will ensure we have a safe landing space there in Kaichor. From here, they're going to go to another important border location in Kaikan, and we want that airstrip to be delivered by June, so they have to put everything in place. Liverpool, I hope you pack your bag already, because we have to get Kaikan delivered by June. And there are 2 airstrips that we're going to add to the portfolio of the engineering corps. That is Camp Jaguar, which is important for your own operation, and Orunduk airstrip. So those two airstrips immediately will be added, and work must commence before the end of the year. The materials must be procured, and work must commence on these airstrips before the end of the year. Now, I want to also say that in relation to this airstrip, we're going to immediately restore the community contract for the maintenance of the airstrip. So there was a community contract. That contract will be restored so the community will benefit. Now, another important issue here, and I want to highlight how important this airstrip is. Since April of this year, we will have completed a new health center. And that health center could not have been brought into operation because the important equipment and furnishing could not have been brought in. Understand how important this airstrip is. So the Minister of Health will have 2 weeks now to have the health center fully operational and ready to deliver service to the people. You have no excuse now. You have the airstrip. So that's for the health center. Now, we have been able to restore a number of impressive facilities in this location. You look at the new multipurpose center with GRA, the Guyana Defense Force, the police, and many other facilities. But looking here at the potential that exists, and I don't want pilots to say we can land but we can't park, because I'm seeing that already. I'm seeing that excuse that we can land but not park. So immediately before Morley leave, we're going to have him work on the design of a 400 feet by 250 feet tarmac, concrete tarmac that will be built by the community. So we're going to procure the services, create all the employment for the community. Ministry of Public Works will implement this. A 450 feet by 250 feet tarmac for parking for our parades. Omar, we'll have now a tarmac for our parades, and it will be a multi-purpose tarmac for the community. And importantly, for the safe parking of the aircraft when they arrive here. Outside of that, to ensure your food sustainability plan for the community, the Minister of Agriculture is not here, but I heard you had an agronomist on the team, So we're going to bring back the agronomist here a little bit. And we're going to work with the Ministry of Agriculture on developing 20 acres of farmland with the community, and this will be manned by all the occupiers of the multipurpose building and the community, so that we can help to produce food. So by next year, December, when I return, with your support, all of your support. You want me to return next December? Well, the men and women in uniform better want me to return because they bonus on the line. And you see, I said December. December is a shock for them, you know. One time they got it in December, and next December it was taken away. So that's a very important time. So if you want me to return next December, all of you will have to follow the instruction of Jenny when she comes. And you will have to carefully place your mark, which consists of an X mostly. And I'll return here in December by the grace of God and the support of the people. And when we return here, I want to return and hear that we are producing all the eggs for all your communities from here, and we're producing all your meat birds and vegetable from here. We're going to invest for you to produce that from here. A 20 acres integrated agriculture food production facility we'll make here for the community. Okay? Are we together, villagers? And as I said, the Minister of Agriculture is not here, but this message will be easily translated to him so that we can start this project before the end of this year. Perhaps before the last set of equipment leave to Kaikan, we can prepare here for the tarmac that we have to build, and we can also do the plowing and grading of the farm area. We'll talk to the Ministry of Agriculture. I don't know if this community would have benefited from the tractor and trailers yet. You benefited from that as yet? If that is not the case, I'll ask Jenny to look into this to ensure that by the end of the February next year that you have that tractor and trailer to benefit your community. As usual, the people who I am fortunate to lead know that they have to be connected to people, and they did all the work before I came here to tell me what are some of the critical needs. So the school, before the end of this year, will start your fence. For a matter of fact, Men on Mission will start the fence, the school fence in here, and we'll try to have that fence completed. I'll ask GWI to visit the area before the end of next week. And Jenny, you're in charge of all of these projects. Before the end of next week, I'll ask GWI to visit the area so we can establish a well to serve the center of the area, the health center, and see how we can connect the school to proper water. In the meantime, we can put up a trestle and some black tanks for the school. So we're going to do that almost instantaneously. Those are, so the well, we're going to do a well, the fence for the school. We're going to do a 450 by 250 all-purpose tarmac. We're going to have the health center fully operational and functional. You know, the doctor was telling me that though he has access to the medical supplies, many times they were delayed because for weeks the flight can't land here. So this will bring greater efficiency to our operation, and it will help us to continue to build on the enormous work that would have already taken place. I want to also thank the Ministry of Public Works. And yes, don't worry, I hear you want to know when they're going to come with your grant, your $100,000 grant. They're coming. They're coming very, very soon. Don't worry. But I hope I'm very fortunate that you recognize that the government is delivering on this grant, and you're anxious to collect your grant. I would have been anxious like you too. But we have been working to make life easier. And these are, I know, the man who we celebrate today, Brigadier Beaton, this meant a lot to him. People, serving people. All these men you see in uniform, that is what drives them every day. Waking up, putting on their uniform with pride, and serving people. You know, sometimes I say you will see sometimes the worst headline from one bad apple, and everybody will take the headline and parade the uniform. But when you have these beautiful stories, you don't see it, right? The revolution that is taking place in building out facilities, improving conditions under which people live. So I want to assure the residents that this facility would now lead to many other development in the community, because this was the facility that was keeping the community back economically and from an infrastructure perspective, because you couldn't get stuff in. Now we have this facility that is all weather, that stuff can come in, and with the tarmac that we're going to build and with the agriculture project that we're going to launch, it is going to even grow the opportunities for the community. And young people, I want the young people to be a part of the ownership of this agriculture project, because you have the opportunity of getting your eggs into the mining camps and all of these things. Tremendous opportunities. The children, you have a great future. In the health center, part of equipping the health center is to have telemedicine available so that your doctor can connect to all the doctors in Georgetown in real time and get advice on what treatment, if there is any specialized treatment that is needed. That will be done. You can do ultrasound for the women through telemedicine. Pregnant women, when they come, you don't need to go to Bartica for ultrasound. You'll be able to do it right here. Those are the things that telemedicine help us to do. So I am very proud today of all the engineers, Akil, all from Public Works, from the Guyana Defense Force, all those who supported, the residents, us in having this project completed. I want to assure you that the only benefit from good work is more work, and more work will bring more reward. So it is with a great sense of pride and honor that we celebrate this commissioning today. We would have loved Gary to be here physically, but of course he is here because the book tells us, all the good book tell us, that our works will live on. And it is our work that keep us alive. So all of us can be kept alive for a long time. It depends on how you live your life, the contribution you make, the type of sacrifices you make. You know, long after Jerry finished flying, people are still reminiscing on his flights with them, whether you're a personal pilot. I have to interrogate that a bit later. So let me say that today is a great day for this community, but today is also a very sober day of reflection. And never forget the context through which we lost those extraordinary souls. It was not ordinary circumstances. It was responding to a critical need at a time when our nation faced its greatest threat. And I've gravitated very closely to these men and women in uniform because I had a front seat view of their level of commitment. It's different level. Their level of love and patriotism is at a different level. And I know that when called upon, from the commander-in-chief to every single soldier in this force, we are ready to answer the call to ensure that our sovereignty, our territorial integrity, and our space is defended and protected for all the generations that will come after us. I also want to thank the community here for the continuous support you give our troops on the border. Every time you show them a kind gesture, it adds to their motivation because they're away from their families here for a very long period. And we welcome your support to our troops. We welcome your acknowledgement of what they do for the community. And I continue to ask them to be responsible, to provide great leadership, and to be honorable in their discharge of their duty when they're out here. And I want them to know that we're proud of them and we'll continue to support them in every way possible so that they also can have a prosperous life. I thank all of you and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. It's His Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and distinguished dignitaries. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you today to express our heartfelt gratitude for this momentous occasion. To all present, I extend our sincere thanks to His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, for gracing us with his presence and officially opening this state-of-the-art aerodrome. Mr. President, your leadership and unwavering commitment to advancing infrastructure in our nation are evident today. This new aerodrome marks a significant milestone in our country's growth, enhancing connectivity, fostering economic development, and providing new opportunities for our citizens. Your visionary approach has made this possible, and we are deeply grateful for your continued dedication to the progress of our nation. I would like to extend our thanks to the Minister of Public Works, the engineers, the suppliers, the community members, and of course our soldiers, and all those who've worked tirelessly behind the scenes to bring this aerodrome to life. Your hard work and your determination have contributed to a project that will stand as a beacon to progress for generations to come. I'd like to emphasize on our soldiers once more to say to you, thank you for your commitment, your support, your trust throughout this project. Your contributions are invaluable, and without this project would not have been a success. Lastly, to all those who are present here today, thank you for joining us in this historic event. Let us all look forward to the positive impact this aerodrome will have on our country, our economy, and the lives of you, the community members. Thank you. Long live our nation.
I'd like to invite the Force Chaplain.
Praise God. Please join me in standing as we return praise and thanks to God Almighty. Let's bow our hearts in a word of prayer. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, most gracious, most merciful, all praise, glory, and honor belongs to you. Your kingdom come, your will be done. This is the day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we acknowledge your wisdom and guidance in all things, and we ask your blessing upon this momentous occasion. Our hearts are filled with gratitude and hope as we gather today to commission Brigadier Gary Beaton Aerodrome into service. We thank you for the gift of human ingenuity that has made this project possible. We thank you for the exemplary life and service of the late Brigadier Gary Beaton. Continue to counsel and comfort Dr. Jennifer Westford. We pray for those who labored tirelessly to make this project a reality. The Ministry of Public Works, the Guyana Defense Force, project engineers, Government of Guyana, 4 Engineer Battalion, 1 Infantry, and other supporting units, the private contractors, suppliers, and residents of this beautiful Eteringbang community. Bless them for their industrious and collaborative effort. We thank you for the strategic foresight and leadership of our President and Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. We are grateful for his vision and commitment to the overall national development of Guyana. Bless also our Chief of Defense Staff and the entire leadership of the force. Now may this aerodrome serve as a symbol of commitment to the well-being of our troop and enhance their operational efficiency. May this aerodrome serve as a beacon of hope and development to this community, fostering connection, opportunity, and growth, a tool for progress and fulfillment of noble objectives. O Almighty God, we place this airstrip under your divine protection. Grant skill, wisdom, and protection to our pilots, crew members, passengers, and all who pass through here. Now I declare your peace over this aerodrome and this community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Excellency and everyone else, I'd like to invite you to the turnaround area where we do the unveiling of the plaque.
Service.
The service has some features that they, solar facilities.
For the household?
Yeah, for the household.
Like you hear that? Like in Bishop, I'll take a note of that, right? You have a solar household. We'll get it done. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. Right? We'll get it done. Thank you. Yes.
Nikki, here.
Allow the students would like to be with their president. Give them a little space, please. Students would like I'm sorry, come. You want to go at the picture,
Henry.
please give a little space to the students.
Sixty households.
60.
All right, thank you. Next week.
Go over the side, go the side, go the side. Go the side, please.
Just now. Coming to you, right? Yeah. Send them over this side. Come, son. Come. Beautiful. Just come this side. Yes, come here. Just start it. If you want a picture, go around this side. Come this side. When you finish, please go that way. Come here, we can see. Just come this side, please. Come this side, please. You finish out that way. Come this side. Come, go in. You with him? Don't let it come. Next one. You're done? When you finish, sorry, please. Finish come this direction, please. Come this side, come. Come. You don't fast.
I want the community to print this photograph and put it in your house and in your shops.
Come this side.
All right.
Go for it. Just let me finish this one together. You with them? We will. No? Go. Come this side. Come this side. Come. You. Go ahead. Go.
One more after this, please.
Good. Come.
No big group. Come, the whole group.
Come. Go ahead. Go on the other side.
Everybody come.
Come this side here. Come.
Look, give him a phone. Give him the phone. Come in the picture.
Make sure you get it yours.
Yeah, you got it. Bring for the child. Sherry, you could go in the picture.
Yours, right?
Step back.
Yes.
Come here. All right, thank you. This is fun. Thank you. Take care, everybody.
You're right?
Me, no?
Cherry, you watch camera.